After its emergence in 1954, the monster known as Godzilla had become one of the most cataclysmic forces on the planet, more akin to a natural disaster than any living organism. The most dangerous aspect of the creature was not its atomic breath or enormous size, but rather the power that could be harnessed from each of its microscopic cells. Dubbed G cells by the research group BioMajor, every sample available was aggressively studied without regard for the consequences. Disastrous experiments on G cells resulted in the creation of Biolante, which, after a fierce battle against Godzilla, dissolved into a cloud of spores, each containing elements of G cells. How these spores spread to space might never be known, perhaps carried by Mothra or the time-traveling Futurians, but once in space, the G cells would mutate and form an insidious creature bent on the domination of all life. Cast into the depths of a black hole before re-emerging from a white hole, arose SpaceGodzilla. Like Biolante before it, SpaceGodzilla bore a strong resemblance to Godzilla, yet clearly mutated by cosmic rays. Its most prominent feature was the crystalline structures that jutted from its shoulders, spine, and forehead. These crystals seemed to function similar to Godzilla's dorsal plates and were capable of conducting immense amounts of energy. SpaceGodzilla was able to create networks of such crystals, amplifying its own abilities when near them or even encasing itself within a crystalline cocoon as a means of achieving spaceflight. SpaceGodzilla's crystals also emitted a powerful aura of plasma, creating widespread electrical disturbances and even redirecting Godzilla's atomic breath. Like Godzilla, SpaceGodzilla was capable of emitting a concentrated beam of plasma from its mouth, and possessed incredible regenerative abilities. Most alarming, however, was the high level of intelligence SpaceGodzilla displayed. It exhibited evidence of advanced strategies such as harnessing power from nearby skyscrapers and even trapping Godzilla's offspring in a type of psychological attack. Unlike most other monsters encountered on Earth, who seemed either apathetic or unaware of the destruction they caused, SpaceGodzilla possessed an element of true malice. Through the psychic warnings of the Shobijin, twin fairies who acted as representatives of Mothra and the cosmos, it was understood that SpaceGodzilla was driven to Earth for the sole purpose of killing Godzilla, allowing it to dominate and rule the planet. SpaceGodzilla was not invulnerable, however. Its mutations had drastically impacted its physical abilities, and was forced to largely avoid melee combat in favor of long-range attacks. Its skin was also not nearly as durable as Godzilla's, relying instead on its crystal shield to deflect direct attacks. Such weaknesses were discovered nearly too late. SpaceGodzilla's arrival in the solar system was marked by the destruction of a NASA interplanetary research vessel, its final transmission showing evidence of hull breaches by strange crystalline projections. Having arrived at the obvious conclusion that the vessel was destroyed by some sort of huge monster, NASA met with the representatives of the United Nations Godzilla Countermeasures Center and Japan's own Counter-G Bureau. Having identified and tracked the entity responsible, the Mobile Operation Godzilla Universal Expert Rowboat Aerotype, or Mogira, was mobilized to destroy the creature before it could arrive on Earth. In a battle in the solar system's asteroid belt, Mogira was heavily damaged and forced to retreat. SpaceGodzilla, meanwhile, was able to land on Earth unimpeded. On the remote Birth Island, SpaceGodzilla dealt a near-fatal blow to Godzilla itself before traveling to Fukuoka on Kyushu. Here, SpaceGodzilla constructed a vast crystal fortress, harnessing energy from space into Fukuoka Tower, before absorbing it directly. Further empowered and stronger than ever, it waited for Godzilla to arrive. It was Mogira that appeared first, however, utilizing its vast arsenal in a heroic display but without great effect. The arrival of Godzilla tipped the balance of the fight, and together with Mogira, destroyed the Crystal Fortress and Fukuoka Tower, severing SpaceGodzilla's connection with cosmic energy. Weakened and desperate, SpaceGodzilla was able to destroy Mogira, and turned its attention to Godzilla, now alone. Yet in a previous battle against Mogira's predecessor Mechagodzilla, Godzilla had harnessed the life force of Fire Rodan. Combining this power with its own atomic energy, Godzilla was able to emit a spiral heat ray that destroyed SpaceGodzilla, the remains of Mogira, and all of Fukuoka in an enormous explosion. While SpaceGodzilla had failed in its attempt to destroy its progenitor and rule the Earth, its defeat had come at a terrible cost. Godzilla's efforts had destabilized his nuclear heart, beginning a meltdown that could only end in a burst of power unseen since time began. In Bestiary, the Templin Institute investigates the creatures and monsters of alternate worlds. Bestiary is the third of 4 new pilots we're introducing day by day this week. If you'd like to see the Templin Institute investigate graboids, Pennywise, the Xenomorph, or others, a pledge of just $1 a month to our Patreon will get you a vote when the polls open this Friday.